Hi folks. Well, here I am again, August 2025, with my 2009 Mazda Tribute, into a problem with being able to get the rear upper window seal. It is no longer available. I have tried all over the internet, gone to Ford dealership, Mercury, as well as the Mazda dealerships. They basically just blow me off and don't give me any assistance. So what's happened is that I've ended up replacing all the wiring myself into the rear liftgate because and I got that from an auto wrecker because there were no parts for this for my 2009 Mazda Tribute. So now here I am again, and one of the reasons the wiring needed to be replaced was because the seal itself is a factory default, I've learned, and so it needs to be either replaced or repaired. Now, what I've come across finally is something on the internet from a fellow who, I believe it's a fellow, but was very, very helpful. I printed this off, and it looks like it's from Autodesk Instructables, and it says repair leaking rear window 2008 to 2012 Ford Escape, but basically it's going to work as well with my Mazda Tribute. And this fellow gives everything that's needed with regards to a repair, and he's very, very creative. What he basically says is he takes you through the steps very clearly, and what he does is he uses backer rod, which is we've used in our building of houses, to actually feed through the seal to basically puff the seal out again so that it creates a proper seal in the vehicle and rain doesn't drip down and wreck your wiring. And I thought, well, I'm going to give this a try, so we'll see how that goes. And I've already basically cleaned it. That's basically the first step that he says is clean the seal. So he suggests getting an old rag, which I did here. Got the old rag, and used just some Armor All that I had in my house and went and cleaned all around the seal. He says it actually makes it more supple so that you can feed the backer rod into it. And it was amazing how much dirt actually was in here. It gets right into the lip and everything like that and sits in there. So that was a good first start. And then we start feeding the tube. So after things are cleaned, this fellow says to locate the lowest hole on the seal. It looks like he starts on the right hand side, but it doesn't really matter because you go from one side to the next. Locate the lowest hole, which is right there on the right hand side of the seal. And then he says to take the utility knife and to cut a 1-inch slit from the hole down. So I've, with my X-Acto knife, I've done what he says, cut the 1-inch slit, and there it is, and that allows for the feeding of the backer rod, which will go up and into basically the middle on the top. Now the backer rod that I got was from Home Depot here in Canada, and I could only get it in 20-foot lengths, but it's a 3/8 by 20 feet backer rod, and it's just a foam material that you put into, a lot of times you use it in houses to put behind doors and things like that, into the frame of doors and windows to insulate. So it cost me, I think, $7. So as mentioned, this fellow, this was not on a YouTube, it was a post I think I saw on a blog or something like that. And he says to locate the lowest hole, add an incision of 1 inch, and then get the backer rod going up into the seal. So this is what I'm going to do. You basically start to feed the backer rod up into the seal, and it will go up all the way around. So this fellow says that once you've got the seal into the middle of the window, which is right up here where my index finger is, then stop there, go back and cut off the end here just enough to take it basically around the corner to the bottom. And on his directions, he says just feed it in and then around to the bottom. I've cut a little bit more than he has, but I just want to be sure. So that's what he suggests. Now I just want to say here, I have found it very difficult to feed this 3/8 backer rod through the tube here, even with all the massaging and everything that I've done with it according to his specs. At each hole, when I get up to the top here, it becomes difficult to get the backer rod to continue to be pushed around here, and I suspected that would probably happen. So what I did was I took, my wife's was in the dental field, so I've got these dental picks and that I use sometimes for tools. So I used that, put it into a couple of these holes at the top and tried to fish it through to the center. I mean, this little tool, basically what I was concerned about though is that this little tool, and sure enough, it started to actually break the material in the backer rod. So I went and got another tool, which is my pick type thing, and that didn't even work. It was starting to damage this material here. So I actually went to a Phillips screwdriver and tried to just push it through. But anyway, with all of those things combined with massaging, pushing it, massaging it, trying to fish it and push it through, I did finally get it to the center here, and you can just see the backer rod in there. And as the guy says in his directions, you can see it at each hole, so the backer rod is fed through. So then he says to take this here and fish it back down through, so I'm going to do that right now. So fishing that backer rod just down through to the bottom here was actually really easy. It's right down to here to that first hole at the bottom, and it was actually quite easy. Now I've got this 1 inch cut here, and the guy in his directions that I downloaded and printed off doesn't have anything on there about closing that up, but I have some ideas about doing that. But I'm just going to go on to the next part here because I think that I'm going to try to do this. He says to go over to the other side and do it, start on the other side the same way, but as you're already seeing probably in this is that I'm going to try to do this a different way. I've actually gone and got some wire that's usually used for tying rebar in a house, and I just bent it over on the end, and I've decided that I'm going to try to, I strung the line through all the way from the center where I ended with my last backer rod from the other side, and I've strung it all the way through on the driver's side, and I come out the same place. He says on this is to repeat what you've done on the other side, but if I repeat that, it took me probably 45 minutes just to get the other thing through on the passenger side, the backer rod through on the passenger side. So I'll try this and see what happens now, trying it a different way. Okay, so I was going to just fish this through, just hook that one end of the rebar tie wire just fish it right into and hook it right into the foam of the backer rod, but I decided against it because this stuff is not really that strong. It's intended to be that way. So what I did was I just went and got some duct tape and wrapped it around there, and now I'm going to try fishing that thing through by pulling it nice and gentle from the center here. So let's see how this ends up. I'll just maybe start to feed it here from this side and gently work it from here. And once I get it threaded, I would assume that it's probably going to go fairly good. Got to get that in there and then pull it from here, and sure enough, there it goes. Just sliding right through there, and all I'm doing is pulling here nice and gentle from the other end, from the other, basically the half spot. So that's just way easier than the way that the other fellow suggested. And I can see that I'm right here at the end. You can see it coming, so it's going to come out, and there you go. It's a little bit snug here because I'm meeting up with the other backer rod, and the hole here is only basically the size of the of these drain holes, so it's a bit of a tight fit, but it's coming through no problem. Whoops, just broke the backer rod, but it really doesn't matter because it's through, and I can tell that it's through. And so really that took me, by the time I got the wire and hooked that up and everything like that, basically 5 to 10 minutes, as compared with doing the other side, which was probably overall 45 to 60 minutes to get that done the other way the other fellow suggested. Okay, because that broke up here, it took me just about 5 more minutes to just feed that through. Now, one of the things I didn't mention before was that when I was using these tools, like the dental tool and everything like that, you have to be very careful not to rip the seal, because these things are really sharp. So I was able to kind of, and then what I actually ended up doing, that while I was trying to feed it through on the one side, I ripped the seal at the one hole here, so I'm going to look at possibly repairing that with some epoxy or something like that. So anyway, here I've got it down here and it's fed, and I'm going to just measure this off to like around to the first hole here, like the other fellow suggested, and then cut that off and feed it down. So here we go, just slip that end in there, and then this side here, it's amazing, it's actually quite easy. It just slides all the way down. Just feed it until there is no more, as the old hymn goes. So it should be showing down here. I can't see it there. One thing I found interesting is that as I've been doing this, these little things have been left in the trim, and I don't know if it's causing or preventing proper drainage. But anyway, you can see the backer rod is right down there. So now, according to this, I've got fed the backer rod from all the way on the right side here, fed it up through here to the center, and then started on the other side over here, and then fed it all the way up to the center again. So I've got the backer rod all the way in there, and definitely the I mean, it's puffier, and what it's supposed to do is it's supposed to create a better seal, so that when you close the gate, it's a little bit snugger now, and I can feel it when I close it, and then when I pop it, it pops good. But this seal around here at the window will hopefully be way better and won't cause the leakage and destroy my wiring and my latches and everything down below, which is exactly what's happened. So there you go. That's it. Now the only thing I have to do is to take a little bit of epoxy and maybe repair a little bit of the rubber around there. So now I'm just putting a little bit of epoxy onto this little slice, not into the hole where the water is supposed to drain, but just into that slice, that 1-inch slice that was made from putting the backer rod in. And yeah, it's a little bit sloppy. It's not the best job in the world, but anyway, it's supposed to, that'll hopefully seal that up. And